We're back here at Redford Union High School with a great guy, junior high school dean of students, varsity football coach, head football coach, Iler. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you again, sir. Thank you.
How's things going?
Things are going great, man. We're gearing up for the football season right now. So, we got off-season workouts, conditioning, things of that nature. On the junior high side, it's starting to get warm outside, so kids like to get squirrely. So, just trying to keep them in line and keep them out of trouble.
Yeah. Well, the sun's out, and everybody's been used to not much sun in Michigan. It's been cold winter.
It was definitely a dark cold winter this year. Not a lot of snow, but a dark cold one for sure.
Yeah. Even today, a little cloud in the air, but what are you going to do? You can't change the weather.
That's right. You just got to roll with it.
You were 8-2, I believe, last year in football.
Yes, sir.
And your quarterback, unfortunately, right in the playoffs, broke his leg, I believe. Is that correct?
Week 9 out at Allen Park. Playing a good Allen Park team. Second play of the game, QB run, snapped his ankle, and we hoped it was just a bad sprain, but the next Tuesday after we got word that it was a broken ankle. So, adversity hit, and we tried to overcome it, but this was one of those times where we weren't able to, and it sucks for that kid, sucks for the team, just because we were rolling. We were in a good spot, and I think if we were able to stay healthy, I think we'd have been able to do some real damage. And we ran into a good Harper Woods team that we knew, we were going to have to play our best ball. So unfortunate, but we played a lot of young guys, so they were able to learn from it and be ready to go this upcoming year.
Interesting you say he snapped his ankle. My nephew is a varsity football coach at Charlevoix High School.
Nice.
His kid was a senior. He was all-state in wrestling. He won the state championship in wrestling, about 185, but snapped his leg and was out for the whole year. In fact, he's still working on it.
Man, it's just one of those things that the breaks, man, they're so awkward, and just, you look at Hutchinson. For the Lions, snapped his shin in half, and he's still not back to full speed just yet. So it's just one of those things. Those leg injuries, man, they stick with you, whether it's ligaments or broken bones. It's just, you do it every day. You walk.
Yeah.
You walk or you run every day at this age. So.
Ian, you had a great year last year. Was that your best year?
No, actually, it's our best year was 2022. We were undefeated in the regular season. So we tied the school record of the 98 team. They were also undefeated, but we also tied their first round exit.
Oh.
So triple overtime loss to Clarenceville High School in the first round of the playoffs. Good team that we lost to, but definitely expected a lot more out of that season. And we've had some bumps in the road here. Some really good regular seasons, but some playoff blunders that as a head coach, that's what I'm trying to overcome, is how can, I become better in those situations. In terms of the wins and losses, from a culture standpoint, I think we're doing the right things. We're getting kids into college. We're helping keep them off the streets, and very proud of that, very proud of my staff and of the things that we do together to help get these kids in the right position. But now it's, okay, how do we get over that playoff hump?
Randall Taylor said he lost about 8-10 seniors this year in basketball. I'm sure some of those were your players too.
Yes.
Are you young, or you've got some seniors coming back this year?
No, we're going to be young.
Are you?
But we're excited about it, man. The junior class the class that's about to be juniors, a lot of them have played, over the last couple of years, so they've gotten the reps, but they're going to be a young group. I think we're only going to have about 6 seniors on this team. We graduated 19 seniors from this last team. So that's why we made sure that we got those young guys in when we could, because we knew, you guys are going to be responsible for this team over the next 2 years. So, but we're super excited about them. They work hard. They love each other.
Nice.
It's a different group of kids. They get good grades. They pretty much stay out of trouble, and they just want to play football.
Well, when Randall was on earlier, he talked about his JV team, I think, coming up was undefeated.
Oh, yeah.
20.
Yep.
Did you have that success at the JV program in football here, or close, or?
So our JV pretty much ends up going around 500 every year. Sometimes they'll be a little bit over.
Okay.
Not because of talent. It's just because JV football is a little bit harder to get going with us in the summer, just because a lot of kids for JV, they don't come out until September, or we'll get the numbers kind of kick up right around September. So those first 2 games, they're kind of feeling everything out. They're still learning the system. A lot of them don't commit as much as early as the varsity team does. The varsity team starts in June. So some of those JV kids, the bulk of them, they don't come out until August, and that's something else I'm trying to get better at, is getting those younger guys out sooner. But it's a commitment. We work hard. We go Monday through Thursday lifting and conditioning. And a lot of ninth graders, a lot of eighth graders, they're not really looking to do that.
Yeah.
And if they are, and if they're any talent, then we bring them up to varsity. We don't wait around. If we feel you have the ability to hold your own and have the strength, we want to play you young, because we want you to get that experience. So for me, it doesn't matter to me what the JV record is. It matters to me, did you have fun? Are you learning the game? Are you learning our system? And are you going to take the next steps to be on varsity? So, I was super excited for the basketball team and their JV team. A lot of those guys play football. Coach Al does a great job here as the JV head coach.
Who's he, Al what?
Actually, Al White. He's the head JV coach. I think he could be a varsity coach at a lot of schools, but, he's here and he's helping, Coach Taylor out. And there's a couple of guys that I played football with here that played basketball here that are helping out down at that level too. So they're doing a great job, and that was cool to see. Those guys go out and win 22 games. That's not easy to do.
Yeah, they didn't lose at all.
They didn't lose at all. So it was cool to see. But for football, if they have a winning record, great. If they don't, did you have fun? Did you learn? Are you going to be back next year? Do you understand the culture and what we're trying to build? That's what it is for me. The JV team, to me, if our JV team goes undefeated, that means they probably got too many good players down there, and we need to bring them up. So
yeah, it makes sense. Yeah. I see that. Ian, you're dean of students here, junior. Does it say junior?
Yeah, junior high. Yeah.
Oh, dean of students. Okay, what's that like for you?
So it's good, man. I think I'm as a head coach. I think they go hand in hand. You're seen by the student body as the disciplinarian, but you come in for the first 3 months, you kind of rule with an iron fist, and then they get it, so they understand you're not playing around, and then pretty much further for them. Now you can build that real relationship with them and get them to really earn their trust and get them to trust you, and they understand that there's no BS going on here. Like, we want you to be here. We want you to be a student, understand how to operate in a classroom, how to talk to teachers, how to talk to staff, and a lot of kids. Me and Coach Miller were just talking about that. Like, it's a different day. Like, a lot of kids aren't being taught how to operate with adults, how to operate, or classroom management and things of that nature. So a lot of my job is just really getting them to understand how to operate in a school. How to make your day through this process of school go easier, and not go back and forth with the adults, or not go back and forth with another classmate. Communication skills, and then dealing with parents, trying to be that bridge so that my principals can do their job. And then they don't have to deal with all the, bickering from parents and that stuff. So if I can take that stuff off of their plate so that they can get the other things done, I love it. I'm probably, I would say, the happiest I've been, since I started this coaching and education track. So,
nice.
Yeah, especially with everything we got going on here, and to see Redford Union become what it's becoming, like, it's been a good time.
Where'd you grow up, Ian?
Here. So born in Detroit, moved here 92. So 92, 93, right across from Phoenix Park, over on Linden and Dixie. Been here ever since.
Yeah, neighborhood good. Everybody's got a good bunch of neighbors there, and friendly people. And
it was good. It was good, man. Growing up here, different. It was a different demographic back then in the early 90s, but not too many problems. But pretty welcoming. I went to St. Val when I first got here. St. Valentine's, for a few years.
Did you play baseball for Bob Miller?
So they didn't have baseball when I was there, though. So they just still did little league stuff. So then I know a few years later they ended up doing a baseball team. Yeah,
Bobby had that before he came here.
Yeah. So
him and I played out at Claude Allison together. He used to pretend he was an announcer, like for George Kell, and he'd go out to bat, and he'd be like And we had fun though.
Good.
We
Yeah,
had a good time.
It was a good baseball town. Definitely a good baseball town, especially
Yeah.
when I moved over here. Yeah.
Yeah. And RU now was they're playing their games at Capitol, I
Yep.
guess.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Who's the baseball coach?
Stephen Els is in his second year as the baseball coach, taking over for Tim Hopkins. He did a stint for 3 years. Stephen Els, good baseball, background, coaching a few little league teams out of Southfield. I know he helps a team now out of, I think, Southwest Detroit. Been at John Glenn, been at a few different stops. So, he's doing his part to try to bring, baseball back and get it to where it needs to be. I don't know if it'll ever be what it was. I mean, this was a huge baseball community.
It was.
I mean, I played. First thing I did when I moved over here is I started playing baseball here. Baseball was my first love. Then I started playing hockey here. Hockey and baseball were what Redford was known for. It wasn't really football.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't even play football here, I don't think, until middle school.
Yeah, our senior year we were third in the state at St.
Yep.
Agatha, and we had guys that could play, and we all played Babe Ruth baseball or Connie Mack or something, but
Yeah.
we were third in the state. We lost to Blissfield.
Mhm.
Well, Blissfield, I mean, Tuttle was down there, a legend.
Yeah.
And that was the first of his 20-some state championships. But, baseball was everything. We grew up, we got up in the morning, we'd play till the street lights came on.
Mm-hmm.
And it was easy to get a game. We had a field next to us on Glenmore
Yep.
between Grand River and 7 Mile.
Yep.
Behind 7 Grand there.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a big field. This house is now, but, I mean, that
Yeah.
was fun.
Yeah, and I like I said, I grew up right across from Phoenix Park. If you're
yeah.
familiar where Phoenix Park is.
Where is it?
So it's right. So if you go down Beach Daily, make that left on Linden, going towards Telegraph, not going towards Old Catholic Central.
Yeah.
But going the other way.
Uh-huh.
Phoenix Park is straight down Linden.
Okay.
And it's right. It's like right before Telegraph, and it's just a little baseball diamond. They still play there now, but that's where I grew up, and it was nothing for me to see some kids out there playing, and I'm just gonna go run out, grab my glove, and ask, can I join?
Yeah.
And then little RL Redford Little League, like we would go out there, and I had games there, had games at Val's, had games at I don't know the name of the park next to the fire station on the south side.
The Capitol?
No, the other smaller one, but next to the fire
next
station.
to fire. Yeah, we
Yep.
used to play football and softball
Mhm.
there. Yeah.
And then
yeah.
Capitol. Capitol was always one of my favorite places to play.
It was nice. They had good
It was a
fields.
good field,
Yeah.
So it felt like, I'm playing at you knew it was a real field if there was a grass infield. Everything else had the dirt infield. So
Yeah.
made you feel like a big leaguer.
No, that was really cool. I mean,
Yeah.
that was what we loved about baseball, and those were good times. And I wish you all the best. I'd like to get a copy of your schedule, maybe come down and watch a football game, or when you guys get rolling. And
For sure, yeah. Please do.
Just starting the end of August. Who's your first game against?
Harper Woods, 2023 defending state champs, and last year semifinal runner up. So
Is that Notre Dame? Harper Woods? It used to be Harper Wood Notre Dame.
it's they're Pontiac now, Notre Dame, but
Oh.
Harper Woods is the public school
Okay.
in that district. Yeah.
Okay,
Mhm.
they're pretty good.
Yeah, definitely. But we like to schedule hard teams. We want to test ourselves and see where we are, and we don't care about the wins and losses. Going 9-0 is great, but who cares if you get in the playoffs and can't test yourself? So
You're friends with Justin Sasante. We talked about that.
Yes,
you
sir.
you help with the Lead Foundation out there in Brighton?
Yep. Mhm.
That's about 5 minutes from our house.
Yep.
10, maybe 10.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's incredible. I got a grandson who's in the Cherries lacrosse team. I took him to CC a couple nights ago. He's flying 5 times to the East Coast or driving 5-6 times this summer.
Yeah.
Playing his Cherries
Yeah.
because he's good with the face-offs.
Mhm.
But we were going out of the Belleville CC game last year. We're walking our car, and he goes, "Hey, Papa." I go, "What's up, Austin?" He goes, "I just, I'm the #1 face-off guy in the state of Michigan." I go, "No, I didn't know that. Thanks for telling me." He doesn't lack in confidence.
Good. Hey, you need it. That's
Yeah.
half the battle.
It is.
Half the battle, man.
Yeah, we got to see Bryce Underwood and play them, and
Yeah, I was at that game. Yeah, me and my wife went. Yep.
that was a good game.
Yeah.
CC had a couple halfbacks. And a couple trick plays. A close game. That could have went either way.
Yeah.
But,
Well, they were able to
Justin,
jump on them.
talking about Cass Tech earlier, Justin got it. He didn't make it through them. Great team. They were the most talented team. I saw about 4 games. I was at Ford Field when I think they played King, and I saw three or four of their games last year. And that Cass Tech team was no joke.
Oh no.
No, they're solid.
Yeah,
well
they're always
coached.
putting out good. Yep, always putting out good talent. Like you said, well coached, and those are teams you want to play. You want to play those teams that are going to challenge you and see where you fall short, so that you can become better. And a lot of times you might end up coming out on top, and that's what happened with Belleville. I think, they were geared up. They understood the assignment. They understood what they needed to do, and they needed to do it from top to bottom, from coaching to players, doing their job. And a lot of times people say, well, that was their state championship, beating, the defending state champion. But it's hard to come down off of that high, then the next week and then do it all over again.
That's a good point. Now, Howell had beat him, and then Howell got crushed the following week.
Yeah.
So, hey, do you like pickles?
Yeah.
Good. Dig in, Ian. You got to rate them 1 to 10. We make them. We get them at Eastern Market or Brighton.
Gotcha.
One of these places. You probably heard that 10 times today. But
Try one of these. It's a good pickle.
yeah, crunchy.
Definitely a good pickle. I'm a pickle juice guy, so
Well,
I can drink pickle juice.
I'm a football guy. You and I could talk for 2 hours, 3
Yeah.
hours, but we got to run,
I
and
know.
appreciate you.
No
and
problem. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, wish you the best.
Appreciate you. I'll see you this fall.
Hey, we're back at Redford Union High School here with, this is a really great way to end this because I have a really, really close friend of mine. We've known each other, played baseball together in these fields in Redford Township. We played with each other. We played against each other. It was Redford Union, our St. Agatha, but Bobby's his dad's a legend from UD Mercy. Was UD with another RU grad there, Lee Bjorky, coached with him for probably 40 years. I believe he was part of the Gas House gang in Philadelphia, Bobby's dad. And Bobby was also a varsity baseball coach here, and he coached at St. Valentine's too. But welcome, Bobby.
Thanks, Ronnie. It's great to be here with you, man. Good to see you again.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, it's always good to be back. And by the way, my dad coach he ended 36 years at UAD, and he was part of a group called the Philly Whiz Kids of 1950 that
Not
won
the Gas House.
Not the Gas
Whiz
House
Kids,
gang.
okay.
That was St. Louis, I think. But this year they won the pennant on the last day of the season. And now, can you imagine? He told me they had a 6-game lead with 7 games to go over Brooklyn.
Wow.
And they lost 6 in a row. Brooklyn won 6 in a row. So they had a 1-game lead with 1 game to go, and guess what? It was at Ebbets Field in Brooklyn.
Wow.
And for all you old school baseball players, you'll appreciate this. So the ace of their staff, Robin Roberts, who's in the Hall of Fame,
Yeah.
this was the 4th game he started that week.
Wasn't he from Michigan?
Michigan State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so.
And so tie game, and Robbie got in a little trouble about the 7th inning, and the manager, Eddie Sawyer, started walking out toward the pitcher's mound, and Robin stopped him, pointed at him, stopped, said, "Go back, I'm not coming out." And they wind up winning the game in 10 innings on a home run. So I had asked my dad when he told me that story, I was amazed. I said, "I know you guys didn't keep pitch count back then like they do now, but do you have any idea or a sense of how many pitches he throws?" Well, probably about 250, 260.
Things have changed, Bobby.
A little bit, yes, sir.
Yeah. So you've been doing some cool things, and your involvement in Redford Township is, you're like the legend here. You grew up here. You're born. You grew up right near Our Lady of Loretto,
Yep.
and behind the field there. And You're over on the Western Golf Course around there now, and good place to live. And you've seen a lot of changes in Redford Township.
Yeah.
I mean, this is encouraging. The bond here was, they spent $59 million.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. That helps.
It's terrific for Redford. I've been here a long time, over 40 years now, believe it or not. And I served as deputy supervisor for several years here. And I served as a Redford Township liaison for Wayne County for a lot of years. So my total run in that arena of politics was about 13 years. So I got to know a lot of people, did a lot of good we did in Redford. And what Mike Taylor has done to this school, principal, is absolutely incredible. I'm sitting in this school and I'm amazed, and I have been through it a couple times. You know, like you, we have a 50-year class reunion coming up this year, and Mike has been gracious enough to give our classmates a tour of the school. They won't even believe it. Matter of fact, where we're sitting right now, if people ever went to Redford Union, we are almost at the backstop where home plate used to be in the baseball field.
Oh,
That's
really?
where we're sitting right now.
No kidding.
Yes. Yes, it used to be the baseball field.
Maybe we can do a little batting practice after this.
I don't know if I could see the ball anymore.
Yeah, I see you at the AOH club at 5 and
Yeah,
Beach,
great,
and-
man. We joined together.
Yeah, we did.
You know, I try to stay involved. I think it's a great community. You know, I was up at Sandy's by the beach. Everybody knows Sandy's.
Yeah.
And I was talking to her.
Last night, right?
Yeah, well, it was yesterday afternoon, but I said, Sandy, I bet you most of your customers don't even live in Redford, do they? And she said, no, probably 80% don't live in Redford, but used to at one time, you know. And so I always said, Sandy, you remind me of an old Eagles song, your place, you know. It's like you can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. And it should be a historic building. I tried to make it a historic building.
She's selling it.
Yeah, but she said she's not getting any. She's not interested as much anymore because she's not getting the offers.
She wants a lot of money.
Well, she does, and people
Yeah.
want to give her, land contract. I'll give you $1 down and a 200-year land contract. So I'm hoping and praying she stays. But God bless her. She's done so much. If she does leave and retire, I totally would understand. But I mean, you and I have been in Sandy's before, and
Yeah,
shared
more than
shared
once.
a pop or two.
And Uncle Sam's, like you said. And, I mean,
Yeah.
oh, Double O Pub. I mean, they're all around here.
The Medium on Grand River. We had so much fun our day because remember it was legal at 18 years old
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah.
And
It
when we
was
were in high
different.
school, and it was just so much different. But the great times, Ronnie, when you were at St. Agatha and I was at Redford Union, I mean, we didn't have to lock our cars at night. You just leave them open. Your front door you'd leave open and unlocked.
Yeah, it was different.
Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Go to sleeping out
do.
and then going around jumping in everybody's pool. I mean,
We're in Brighton, and my kids always bust my chops. They say, Dad, we walk in the front door and you get out and we hit the door and you lock it. The back door, we walk in, okay, and then you lock it. I don't know why.
It's
just,
habit.
It's habit.
Yeah,
And,
I do the same thing.
Yeah, I think, outside sales, 40,000 miles a year, Bobby. I was driving, and I had to lock my car everywhere. It was just, we were in the city,
Yeah.
Detroit, Pittsburgh, Chicago.
Yeah.
So
I sure remember. I remember, and for people that know, and I appreciate all your kind words. Ron was a pretty good pitcher out of St. Agatha. That long flowing blonde hair that you had. That's
blue glasses.
yeah, and he was a very good hitter.
Thanks,
and we were on a couple of teams together. Ron was definitely a college potential player. He had a good arm. You had a good arm. You could throw.
Thanks.
And we had such a great time playing together, and then I dreaded I got a bat against him now as an opponent. But
Well, you were a good hitter, so I generally
Sometimes.
tried to hit you or
if
get
you
you-
told me what
get
was
you-
coming,
Usually a fastball right at your gut.
well, usually by me, but Ron was a good athlete in his own right, and we had great games with St. Agatha. We used to play in, I don't know if you remember the Les Anders tournament.
Yeah.
And Catholic Central was in it. You guys were in it. We were in it. And
Yeah.
Stevenson or somebody. We played that every year. It was fun.
Yeah, you guys had the home field. We played here, I
Yeah.
think, once or twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So, A lot of people don't remember St. Agatha, but I sure do. They had great athletes there.
Good people.
Real, and still are. I mean,
Yeah.
you guys still meet and stuff like that. So I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, I brought this, and I'm going to probably put it up on the screen later. But this is interesting because you will be able to appreciate it, Bobby. Here is the 2002 June 1st, 2nd, St. Agatha 31st Annual Spring Festival in 2002.
Okay.
And there's, I wrote that for my mom and dad about the family. It's a great family.
Wonderful
Just
people.
Happened to, yeah, mom and dad. You
Yeah.
liked my mom, I know.
I did. I liked her very much.
And dad. Dad was cool.
Yeah, I'll read this after. I think it's wonderful. Your mom, when I worked for the township, and I told you this, she was in the Redford Senior Club.
Yeah.
And she would come to the lunch all the time, and I'd sit near her, just a little bitty lady, and she was always so nice. And after your dad passed, I would drive by, make sure she's okay, and
Nice.
I'd say,
Thank you.
Do you need anything? And she was like, no, I'm fine. The very proud generation. I don't need anything.
Right, yeah.
But I said, no, anything you need, heavy lifting, whatever, that I'm here. And she was just so wonderful. And of course, your dad's he was a great guy, Bob. He a legendary Little League coach in Redford. He did it for I don't know how many years. It seemed like forever.
Yeah, they won. Well, I was on 3 of the championships teams. My brother Bob was on the early go, but
Yeah.
we won 9 out of 10. We had Mr. Mann and Donnie Mann and Sweeney's and Bierke's and Rex's and you name it. We had, and then you go older guys, Pat Burgess, Gary Folks. There was some talent that the Braves had. They won 9 out of 10 in a row, which, when you have a league with, 10 teams or what, and you're winning, yeah, they knew how to coach.
Yeah, it was funny. Give a shout out to my old coach and God rest his soul, Bob Atkins, who he was a legend here in baseball.
Yeah.
And I got to know him pretty well after he retired and I stopped coaching. But I always said, Coach, how did you get all these great players, Because I said, believe it or not, at tryouts at Redford Union, I'd get maybe 15 or 20 kids. That was it. He said, I'd have over 100. He said,
Wow.
He said, I was so happy. He said, all you darn Catholics, Mills, all your families around here, and you all had 7 or 8 kids.
Yeah.
And a lot of boys, and you all played Little League Baseball.
Sure.
So he goes, I knew every year I was going to get good players every year. I didn't have to go out and recruit them. I'm like, Coach, I'm happy if I can have 12 on a team that are good. But I think it was that, because we had, you think about, St. Agatha and Catholic Central and Bishop Borges.
Yeah,
was here,
that was huge.
all in Redford. St. Valentine, St. Robert Bellarmine. There was so
Our Lady Loretto.
Our Lady Loretto.
Yeah.
And
talent.
so we grew up on baseball. I swear, and with my dad's background, I mean, before I could walk, I knew the infield fly rule.
Yeah.
We grew up on baseball.
We did,
but we
Bobby.
loved it, didn't we?
No, I mean, unbelievable. You remember Kirk Taylor was a great pitcher from Redford Union. There was a Taylor's Party Store right there near Volney Smith. And
7 miles. Sure.
we won those 9 out of 10 championships. Every year we would go down after every win and get a pop and pretzels from Taylor Party Store. And then the incentive to win the championship was to get anything you wanted at the Dairy Queen across the street. So I remember eating like a half a gallon chocolate malt after winning one of the times. But those are memories irreplaceable, Bobby.
Kirk Taylor, he played for my dad at UAD.
Did he?
Yeah.
He's a big guy.
And
Kurt was big.
We're friends on Facebook and all that. And then he hurt his arm. He blew out his arm.
Okay.
And he couldn't pitch anymore. But a great guy still. I mean, we're still trying to get UAD baseball back. I'm actually, somebody's setting up a meeting for me with the president.
Yeah, you weren't too thrilled about that. The last time I talked to you, we were doing a fundraiser, the Knights Equity, and we do a scholarship at UAD Mercy, and I know you were in the throes of it.
Yeah,
we're
working on it still. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
But we want baseball recognized. We think it deserved as the oldest sport at U of D.
Yeah.
And, so many guys out of Redford Union went there. I want to say at least 8 or 9. St. Agatha guys went.
Sure.
Few went
Sweeney's,
there. Sweeney,
Mully,
great hitter.
Dave Mully.
Yeah, played with Mully.
Good guys, yeah.
Yeah. So, and so we want to recognize that. I know time marches on. We're all getting older, but it's always nice to recognize where all this came from, all this tradition that we build. I always tell my kids every older person was a younger person once.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you don't realize that. But we were.
Tell the grandkids that.
Right. That's right.
As they get their TikTok and they all come in and they get their phones and one runs over there with the phone, runs over that. They pull the quilts up. They get pillows. They're in separate rooms. Papa walks around and here, give me that cell phone. Give me that cell phone. I'm putting these on the fridge here. You have to talk to me.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
Let's talk.
That's right.
Yeah, have some fun.
I got one quick thing. I know you'll like, and everybody that's listening to this podcast that's around our age, we grew up on strikeout baseball. We grew up on putting a box on a wall, and we'd go up to Gilfix Drugs on 6 Mile. They had good hard white rubber balls that were like 99 cents, and we would pitch off a wall until your arm couldn't throw anymore.
Sure.
And then you would have, this is the best thing we learned about conflict resolution. That was a strike. No, it wasn't. That was a strike. Yes, it was. No. And then you go, all right, let's do it over again, right? There's nobody, you didn't have to punch them or pull a knife out. And that game was so great. So I got a friend of mine. His name is Jeff Lazarus. He is starting a group. It's called, everybody wants to check it. It's called Strikeout Baseball USA. I think it's a .com. So he's building a strikeout baseball field that is named after my cousin, John Smoltz.
Smoltz is your cousin?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You and I have had that conversation. Because my sister Denise taught John Smoltz.
That's what you were telling me.
St. Gerard's up in Lansing.
Yeah.
And Smoltz is help funding this, Bobby?
It's his name on the stadium. He's helping. And so this thing's really cool. And it'll be opening. I'm going up there for the grand opening in a month or two. But they have it's a very small stadium. I mean, very small. And then you play with, like, I'm not sure all the rules, but I know they got a box on a wall, and they got a specialized baseball.
Nice.
You work conflict resolution. You call it, ball or strike. If a ball's hit to I think you play with 2 infielders. If the infielder catches it, you're out.
You don't have a catcher then. You just go up against the wall.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Like we did.
Yeah.
And you
no pass balls. You're not chasing. That's cool.
No, you can play invisible man on first.
They put like a rubber hard ball or something?
Yeah,
nice.
But it's nice. The whole idea behind this is to teach little kids how to play, especially kids in the inner city who don't play or don't have opportunity. They have no idea what strikeout baseball is. You ask them what curveball is.
Yeah.
I don't know what curveball is, but we grew up on it. It was so much fun, and it's free. You don't have to go buy a video game. You don't have to do all that. So he is resurrecting strikeout baseball, and he wants to franchise this thing around the country. And so the first one is be called Johnny Smoltz Stadium or John Smoltz Stadium in Lansing. How cool is that?
Where is it?
It's right near downtown Lansing. Yeah, it's right near downtown Lansing. I'll send you the info on it. But
I want to go to that when you do that opening.
Strikeout baseball. He said, Miller, you got to come out and throw out a pitch. I said, I don't know if I can still do it, man.
If you tell him about Denise Green, that's my sister. She taught him at St. Gerard's. She said she would absolutely, wherever that is, she
really? She would go?
Oh, she will. She wants to.
Because John will be there for the grand opening. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, her kids played for Lansing Catholic Central, and they played. One of the daughters played IBPFU or the Indiana Purdue.
Oh yeah, they're in UAD's conference.
One of those. Yeah, she was a starter on the basketball team.
Oh,
That's
wow.
big
Okay.
D1. Basketball.
Okay.
So yeah, her kids they're into sports.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
I can't wait to have her go up to John and say, "I'm still waiting for that history report you said you're going to turn in."
That's good, Bobby.
Yeah. So that's really cool.
Yeah,
really cool. I had to shout that out because we grew up on that. We're talking about the day.
I'm just so happy that I really it's fitting that you're the last person because we've been close friends since we were kids.
Oh yeah, way back.
You used to do the George. Can you still do a little George?
I haven't done
Kell?
George way back.
You're coming up to bat. And, there's Bobby. I used to get a kick. You'd be behind the fence and you'd start screaming.
People don't know who George Kell is.
I know, but we do. It doesn't matter.
George Kell and K-Line.
People don't remember who Mark Mastner is. I mean, he acted like I was complimenting.
Yeah.
We had him on Wednesday night. Cam did the show, and He said, at the end, he was so humble. He goes, can't believe anybody really want to see me or care about me now. And he still owns 5 of the defensive records, most sacks, most tackles for loss, most quarterback tackles in a game. 5 of them, college Hall of Fame. In the last 30 years, I would say, Mark, there's been 2 defensive players at Michigan on the line. Charles Woodson's in another stratosphere. However, it was Aiden Hutchinson and Mark Messner, and the guy was so cool. We ended up doing this, usually it's an hour, it was 75 minutes. So these guys are really sick of me right now. It's been going on for a few days, but like I said earlier, Bobby, we canceled something at Frankenmuth to come here. Peter Bergen, it was a festival up there that he was running, Ragtime Festival at Frankenmuth. We were supposed to be there right now, but called back to the old neighborhood. You got to go, right?
Yeah.
You have to go.
Oh, yeah.
And proud to be here.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's great. So Messner, he was Catholic Central boy too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He grew up in Heartland, about 10 minutes from us.
It'd be nice on your podcast when he's down here. Maybe John Smoltz, you can get him on.
Love to. Yeah, where's he living these days?
Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
And I know he travels a lot, but he's, I had him on mine and talking about, you remember the 91 game that he pitched in the World Series in Minnesota against Jack Morris, and it was like 0-0 after 9 innings. And then they won it at the end. Minnesota did win the World Series. I think it was Kirby Puckett or something. But Smoltz went he was dealing, and so was Jack Morris. It was one of the greatest World Series games in history. But John would be great on your show.
Yeah, he was the worst trade in the history of the Tigers. We got Dory Alexander, who had a good season, rest of the season. Bobby, we all rate the pickles at the end. I think we're running out of time here.
Oh, thank you.
You got to open it up and taste them and see what you think.
These are your homemade ones?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Just rate it 1 to 10.
I was going to say 1973 on them. Is that good?
Get out of here.
I know. Wow. Those are really good.
Yeah. Garlic, dill, jalapeno, asparagus. I hope you're not allergic to any of those things.
No, sir. Those are great. I will use those.
This has been fun.
Yes,
this
it has.
Been a lot of fun.
I appreciate you having me on.
It's exhausting, but fun.
I know,
Yeah.
and I appreciate your guys hanging around like this for so long.
They're good guys.
I know what it's like, and you'll be glad when it's done, and it's Friday. So
Wayne Media, we'll finish it up with them. We never mentioned Wayne Media, where these great guys work, as Speakeasy, Grand River, and Brighton.
Okay.
But again, Bobby,
quick shout out to my class in 1975. I told my wood we got a reunion June 14th at 1 Under in Livonia. Please contact me if you want to come. Coach Bob Miller at Yahoo. But I appreciate you, Ron. It's always good seeing you, my friend.
Thanks,
I'm sorry,
Bobby.
since I'm still working, I can't be as involved as I'd like to be in some things with you. But I appreciate all you do for charity. Ron and his wife do a lot for charity. I mean, a lot, and I appreciate that.
Thanks,
You're a good
brother.
man.
No, we try. Get it from Mom and Dad, and appreciate you, Bobby.
All right, my friend.
I'm
God bless
gonna
you.
just finish this with one last thing. Burger Night, May 8th, a couple miles from here. All the money goes AOH Club, 5 Mile and Beach Road. All the money, every penny of this goes to St. Christine's Soup Kitchen and Pantry on 5 Mile, east of Telegraph, right, Bobby?
Yep.
Yep, St. Christine. So anyway, if you want to sponsor, call. If you want to show up May 8th, Bobby, I hope you come.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks.